Yo, what up? It's Aaron Moses. I got a question from one of the homies asking me about a psychic attack technique that I used in that video, that notorious video where I had on all blue. Um, the question was how I did the psychic attack. Before I go into the actual how to, I will tell you this. A lot of people come to me in consultations, whether it be readings, relationship readings, people asking me why their spells aren't working, people asking me how to start to treat their depression or anxiety by the way I eat anxiety. So if you connect with me in any kind of way, I'll be able to take your anxiety. The most I've been able to do it is for a full like 16 hours. Other than that, I would have to do it like every day until you start to get used to the feeling of not being anxious anymore. So, facts. Hit me up for that. But I always tell people, I always recommend that you guys learn how to move energy. Okay, that was the first practice that I had before I started to do magic, before I started to do anything. I learned how to meditate. I learned how to move energy. Then, of course, I got into yoga, breathing exercises. Okay. And if you want to learn how to move energy, this is why I always refer people to yoga and to Tai Chi, because that is what you need to be doing when you're doing these practices. Of course, I would start with the basic Wall and, you know, psionics, trying to spin the psi wheel, even moving flames with 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 chi, with your chi. Okay, creating heat, making it cool between your hands, whatever you can do. Okay, do this for a good. It should only take. It depends on you. It could take someone up to anywhere from 2 weeks to a year. It really shouldn't take you more than a specific amount of time, but I don't want to give you that limitation. But anyways, learning how to move energy. Why is this important? Why is this important? Because that is essentially what magic is. And like I say, life is just a long spell. Okay. And you choose if it's a dry spell or it's a wet spell. Facts. So learning how to move energy, because in yoga, what you're supposed to be doing is, it depends on what you want to do. You could be moving the energy from the right to the left, from the earth to the heavens and back, circulating energy, cleansing yourself, purifying yourself, charging yourself, or even trying to wind down, protecting yourself. When you do yoga, you do need to be saying affirmations. Inhale, exhale. Okay, even if it's a chant, even if you're chanting or vibrating, as some say, a God's name or an affirmation, Shrim Brazil, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, what have you. Okay, same with Tai Chi. Same with Tai Chi. You can expand your energy, contract it, move it up, down, side to side. You could push it into a stone and bring it back and have it sitting in front of a window with sunlight in it. Okay, charging your body with a rose quartz crystals, purifying energies. Okay, very simple, very simple. Now, as you can see, we're gonna move to the actual technique. In the video, there was a lot of what people call anger. Now, all the yelling and all of that, that was a psychic attack. Okay, all of the words were the spells, and the yelling was the psychic attack. Now, I want you to turn on your third eye. I want you to be able to see. I used several different colors. I used a lot of different colors. I used all the colors. Okay, the only colors I didn't use were orange, brown, gray. I didn't use any of those colors. I used red. I was wearing a lot of blue for a very good reason, for a really good reason. I used yellow. I used like a urine color yellow. I used a lot of different colors. Okay. And the whole point of it is when you build up the energy, just like in a normal ritual, you build the energy, you program it with your spell, and then you direct the energy. You direct it with intent, emotion. Okay. That's how anything catches your attention. Your favorite rappers. I'm gonna give you two rappers and two singers. All right. One rapper I'm gonna give you Cardi B. Cardi B's words sound good. Her spell is enticing, but her energy is not always there. Even if she says the most sexual thing that she can think of in a song, or she says something about money, the only reason I really feel it is because it's repetitive and because I have a lot of emotions for Cardi B. Now, on the other hand, her husband Offset, especially on the album Father of Four, he projects his energy like a pro, but he also professes to be very spiritual, so he should be able to do this. Plus, he's very melanated. Mm, he's very melanated. He grew up without his father, and typically, people who grow up without fathers are emotional. So you take all the masculine aspects of him being a man, and then add that to the amount of discipline that he had to be an effective um, criminal, and then you add the love and the nurturing that he got from his grandmother and his mother, and all the emotion that he witnessed from not only his grandmother, his mother, any cousins that were women, any cousins that he had that were males that didn't grow up without fathers, and anybody that he grew up with in his environment and had to respond to with either intellect or emotion. That makes for a great artist. Okay. Now you take somebody like, personally, personally, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm gonna try to see if I can compare him to somebody else. We'll take Michael Jackson, one of my favorite R&B, rock, pop singers, one of the best performers of all time. You compare him to, say, um, I'm trying to think of somebody that's relatable to you guys. It's like, we'll say Jimi Hendrix. Now, Jimi Hendrix is I like Jimi Hendrix more than Michael Jackson. But does he project his energy like Michael Jackson does? He certainly does not. Even though that's not his realm. He's not as much of a performer as Mike was. But but if just I just want you to just think about that. Just cook that inside you. So the technique, I would have to say that's something that you have to be able to feel. You have to be able to raise the energy, identify where the energy is coming from. Okay. If the energy is in your heart, work with your heart. If the energy is in your gut, work with your gut. If the energy is in your organs lower than your gut, work with those. If the energy is in your throat, if the energy is in your mind, breathe it down to one of the organs or the throat and find out how you can push it out. I wouldn't recommend pushing it out through any head chakras. Not at all. I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend that you push it out either through the, well, you pull it from the throat. I mean, you pull it from one of these chakras. That's where you pull it from. Okay. Because you need so much mental strength to be able to focus it instead of just letting it spill to whoever is in an earshot of it. You want to focus it towards the person. And it works a lot better if you have the person's energy signature. If you know the person personally, it works a lot better if they're in person. I've done this obviously digitally as well as to a tangible person. Okay. And the tangible person, it takes more out of you. And when it's out, it excites you. It's like the energy runs through your back. It's just instantly refreshed. It's like maybe it's a swap of energy. Maybe it's less of an attack. It's definitely an attack, but maybe it's more of an exchange of energy. This is a very vampiric practice. Okay, very vampiric in nature. Now, the only reason nobody taught me how to do this. I told you guys I have vampiric abilities because I am an angel. So I can very easily copy certain things because angels don't necessarily reproduce. They take your energy, copy it, and make new angels. That's why there's more than one angel. And God didn't make them all. Okay? Read it in the Bible. So I have that ability. When I hang around a lot of Mexicans for a little bit amount of time, I start developing a Mexican accent. When I listen to a lot of Three Six Mafia or Southern music, I start talking like them a little bit. When I hang out with the only accent that I haven't really started to recreate inside myself was like a country accent. Other than that, when I listen to a little bit of anime for like an hour, I start talking all soft and I start pronouncing the end of my words all concrete. Like it's a trip, but that's because of the angelic things aspects of me. So pretty much the only reason I know how to do this is because somebody performed it. Did it to me. Now this works. I want you to do research on how to knock someone out, the techniques of knocking someone out, hitting them in specific parts of their body. Okay, surprising them is the best way that you can do this. Preferably startling them. Okay, in order to do this effectively. So this is why you need to learn how to move energy. Controlling your facial expressions, your micro expressions, your body language, not making a fist, not uh, not that. Just be like, oh, okay, and then just do it. And then if you can make it a long drawn out, ah, if you can do that, and if you can make it like a more of a cry than a yell, more of a cry than a yell. But the only reason mine worked so well was because of the spell and the energy that I invoked. Now, of course, you saw the eyes that I had, my facial expressions, how I kept doing this. That's because I was in a specific state of mind. I was in a specific energy, okay? Because I was interacting with specific entities prior to this video. If you want to do that, or if you have any special tattoos, of course you can give it a little smooch. And then just let it go, let it blow. Um, Other than that, guys, when the person did it to me, it was very enlightening. It was very enlightening. Um, what happened was I sent somebody a song I wanted them to listen to, I wanted them to review that I made. It wasn't offensive. I wasn't talking about, any kind of inappropriateness. I used a little bit of profanity, but it was about my child. And when the person listened to it, it hit home for them and they thought I was doing something, they thought I had bad intentions. When I was really trying to give them something to listen to that they could relate with, and they thought I was just being mean, TBH. and they did it, and I was like, what was that you did? Because I just saw this blue electric light go through my brain, and now I feel very disoriented. I feel like vomiting, and I feel like punching you right now. And then the person apologized and explained to me what had happened. And I didn't even ask her to teach me. I was just like, oh, I know how to do that now. But it doesn't take that much practice. If you really, if you're up on your energy manipulation, energy moving, charging objects, psi balls or chi balls, um, making your body hot and cold, warmer and cooler with your breath. How do you do that? You have to inhale and exhale through your nose fast. I can't do it too long because I have mucus in my face. So I'm gonna do it with my mouth. So do this, but with your nose. Do that in and out your nose, strong, hard. Now, if you need to if you need to do some breathing exercises and expand your lung capacity before you do that because I don't want you to end up passing out or having a nosebleed or anything like that. To cool your body, of course, in through the nose, hold it for 6 to 11 or however long you feel comfortable. If you start to feel lightheaded, dizziness, or or anything like that, if you feel different than what you should be feeling naturally, don't hold your breath for too long. It's not the whole thing is not to be able to push yourself. It's just to be able to feel, okay, in through the nose, out the mouth. Moving your hands works as well. Okay, it helps. Now, with this, you should be able to feel the moisture in the air. You should be able to feel how humid or dry the room is, cooling yourself down. You should be able to rehydrate yourself with the air, with the water that is available, with the vapors that are available in your immediate area, especially if you're outside and you're in Atlanta or somewhere like that. Okay. Um, it works too if you're in the desert, but it takes a little visualization and emotion. All this takes emotion and intent. You have to be clear at some point. Okay. I want you to the importance 1 to 0. I mean 1 to 10. Order them from the importance: visualization, intent, and clarity. Okay, those three things. Whatever you think is the most important, I want you to do that. I want you to put your energy there the most and tweak it to your liking. The breath is very important. Breath is very important. Okay. Now, another thing I want you to consider when you do this, you need to be breathing in calm. I mean, you need to be breathing in clean air. Don't do this in a room full of cigarette smoke or any kind of smoke. Don't do this in a warehouse full of dust and all kind of particles, chemicals and stuff. Um, do this outside unless you're in LA or Chicago. But other than that, guys, that is how you do. And it doesn't. This technique, I asked multiple people. It doesn't have much of a name, so I just named it what I named it. But it's not a telepathic psychic attack. It's definitely a audio psychic attack. So facts. The last thing, and I probably should have said this at the beginning or in the middle, you need to be aiming for the brain if possible, or the heart, because it's gonna go to their brain inevitably. But if you can program it to move before you do it, if you feel it in your heart, it's gonna go to their heart. This is why I tell you don't feel it in your brain because it's gonna just go back to you. It's gonna come back to you through their eyes. Okay, possibly. Or if you close your eyes and turn your head, it might not. But if they say, dude, what was that? They might transfer some of that energy back through their words. Okay, so if you feel it in your heart, it's gonna go to their heart. If you feel it in your gut, it's gonna go to their gut. This person was digital, so it's not. The person was digital, and I was shocked. So it there wasn't, and I didn't know what happened. So there was little to no worry for. her to think that I would be able to send it back. Also, if you are dealing with somebody who is in tune a little bit, you should be shielding before you do this. And there are, again, this will go to another video, but you should have a trigger word to instantly turn certain things on. You could say shield, protection, or you could say a guy's name, or should, well, really, you should be shielding every morning and before you go to sleep. So you should have a constant shield that you really, if you just call on it or you just feel like, okay, I need to be in this shield, I need to be in this egg or this pyramid of power, you should be able to do that. And to build a really effective shield that you don't have to charge every day or you don't have to work on every day, it only takes 2 weeks, 14 days straight. And then from that 14 days, you really need to only shield maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, depending on how you are in your environment and your activities in your life. So that's it, guys. It's Aaron Moses. This is a weekly water. Yes, I record this live, but it's on private. Uh, I don't know if I'm gonna release this on Halloween or not, but happy Halloween, guys. I'm the bang, you the bang. We are the bang together, and life is in the breath. Breathe it in, baby.